Hi folks, welcome back to Math with Captain Rod. This video is going to be a continuation of your notes for 17.2 about circles. So let's see where we're at here. It says sketch the circle of the graph x minus 1 the quantity squared plus x plus 1 the quantity, y plus 1 the quantity squared equals 4. So in order to graph it, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the standard form for the equation of a circle. Derived in the previous video. And now what I'm going to do is just compare these guys. So as I compare x minus h to x minus 1, right, I determine that h must be 1. And when I compare y minus k to y plus 1, right, I determine that k must be minus 1. All right, now we're going to look at this. R squared is equal to 4, therefore r must be 2. I'm going to do that without writing it out. Just write out r equals 2. So now what I know is that the center of the circle is at the point 1, minus 1, and it has a radius of 2. So I can use that to sketch it. So I've got my kind of generic graph over here. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put the center in, 1 minus 1's. Let's see, 1 minus 1 is here. Now, this actually isn't a point on the circle. I want to go ahead and just put a green dot there because this is actually not part of the graph. We're just using this to sketch the graph. Now, since the radius is 2, what that's going to allow me to do is plot a bunch of points on the circle. So if the radius is 2, if I go 1, 2 over, there's got to be another point on that graph, right? That would be the point 3, negative 1. If I go 2 units down, 1, 2, there's another point on the graph. That's going to be 1, negative 3. If we go 2 units up, 1, 2, there's another point. That would be the point, let's see, it's looking like 1, 1. 2 units left. That's the point negative 1, negative 1. That's pretty well enough. And now I'm going to go ahead and sketch the graph. I'm going to use my circle thingamabob here. Huh, did I not get these in the right place, or is my circle not actually circular? Okay. Oh, so, all right, I'm just going to not use this for this. All right, turns out that the coordinate axis that I've generated here for some reason is not symmetrical. You notice this distance is a little larger than distance. I'm just going to go ahead and sketch this in, all right? You can make yours perfectly. Mine's not going to be perfectly circular because this thing that I've generated here is not. You can see that this distance and this distance are not equal. I'm not going to worry about that for now. This is good enough to get your notes done. Okay, so there's my circle. You'll notice it's got some axes on it, or I'm sorry, intercepts. It's got intercepts here, here, and here. I'm going to go ahead and find those intercepts. So, oh, I think I missed one. It's got intercepts here, 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 and here. So it's got both x and y intercepts. You can find the x intercepts by setting y equal to 0. So I'm going to take this equation now. If I put 0 in for y, this is now going to read x minus 1, the quantity squared, plus, now putting a 0 here, this is just going to be 1 squared, which is 1, equals 4. Now we'll go ahead and solve for x. So x minus 1 squared is equal to 3. Square root both sides. Remember that when we square root both sides, though, we get two values, plus root 3 or minus root 3. So x is going to equal 1 plus or minus square root of 3. So that's not a nice simple thing like x equals 2 or 5 or something, but that's just fine. This point right here must be the point 1 plus root 3. The y coordinate is 0. This one is the point 1 minus root 3, 0. Right? Go ahead and now we're going to go ahead and calculate the y-intercepts. So we're going to take a look at that guy right there. And this guy, we can do those by setting x equal to 0. So taking this equation, setting x equal to 0, this is going to be negative 1 squared, which is 1, plus y plus 1, the quantity squared, equals 4. Subtracting 1 from both sides, this is going to read y plus 1, the quantity squared, equals 3. Square rooting both sides, y plus 1 is going to equal plus or minus the square root of 3. And subtracting 1. Okay. So put these intercepts in right here. So this one right here, that intercept, the y-intercept, that's the negative 1 minus root 3. Now, the actual coordinates here, written in the plane, would be 0, negative 1 minus root 3. Those are the coordinates of that red point. The coordinates of this red point are 0, and it's the upper one here, the negative 1 plus root 3. So I think we've kind of beaten this to death here. We got that circle sketched. I apologize for my axis not being perfectly symmetrical. I'll probably finish or fix that for future videos. But anyway, that should be plenty good to get that into your notes. Let's see, at 6 minutes, I'll go ahead and do example number 2. In fact, if you give me a moment, I'm going to pause this and reset this up. Okay, folks, I'm back. We're going to look at example number 2 here in your notes under 17.2. We're going to try to graph this circle, or the circle described by this equation. So, first thing to do, write out the standard form for a circle. Now, compare these two things. Compare this to this. All right, x minus h. X plus 2. H must be negative 2. X, or y minus k, y minus 3. K is equal to 3. Whoops, and I see this was supposed to be a r squared here, a generic r. Okay, r squared equals 9, so r must be 3. To graph it, let's go to our circle. I'm going to put this in green, however. Let's go to our center. The center is at the point negative 2, 3, so that's going to be 1, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3 up. So there's the center. I'm going to put this in green. This is not actually a point on the graph. This is just the center of the circle, which we're going to use to graph the circle. Since the radius is 3, if I go 1, 2, 3 over, there's a point. 1, 2, 3 up, there's a point. 1, 2, 3 this way. 1, 2, 3 this way. Now I can go 3 in any direction, but left, left, right, up, down, these are the really easiest. And I'm going to go ahead and just sketch this. There. Not the best circle I've ever drawn. I expect yours to be a little bit better in your notes. Intercepts, so looks like this thing just comes down and just touches the axis here. Let's see. Yeah, and notice what would happen here if you tried to find the x-intercepts by setting y equal to 0. When you put a 0 here, you get negative 3 squared is 9. Subtract 9 from both sides, and you end up with x plus 2 squared equals 0. So that only has one solution, x equals negative 2. And that's why that's the point. That point right there is the point negative 2, 0. I'm going to go ahead and just move on to the next one here for the sake of time. We're at 9 minutes on the video. I'm going to let you fill out the details. You can find these guys here by setting x equal to 0, solving for y. And I'm going to just consider that example done. I think what I'll do is start a new video for examples 3 and 4, because those are going to be quite a bit longer. So everybody have a great day.